Morning, everyone. I have a few comments. I'll be glad to take your questions, and then I'll be leaving for another meeting. Well, several of you were at City Council yesterday, and so you know firsthand it was a spirited discussion, to say the least. And we were kind of, after the meeting, opining that that was representative government at work. And I even said, I think, to someone that, you know, in some countries, that could have resulted in a number of arrests, probably. But well, that's one of the great things about this country, is that we can have spirited debate and even disagree on some things, and then resolve matters in a peaceful manner. And so I think that's important to remember. And I really appreciate our City Council, how hard they work, and their process yesterday. I know it was very challenging for them, working through several very important potential charter amendments, as well as the TOPS initiative, and so that was gratifying to see them work through all that. And you know, I do have a comment on the one ballot issue that's going forward of the four that were proposed, and that is increasing council's compensation from $6,250 per year currently to $48,000 per year. And as I said yesterday at council, I cannot support that. And it's simply because I think that's a piecemeal approach to frankly reinventing our City Council. I do think we should have a serious discussion about council compensation. They do work very hard. I think they should be compensated fairly. And I'm not sure that's the case right now, but I think that needs to be tied to council's long-term role and responsibilities. And I offered yesterday to work with council through an expedited charter review process, where we would look at all the various possible ways we might improve our charter, and hopefully come at the end to a consensus on those matters which we should ask the voters to consider. And certainly council pay can be part of that. But I do think that compensation should be tied to role and responsibilities, and that may change for City Council in a number of ways. So I'm hoping that City Council at its February 12th formal meeting on second reading of that ordinance to place their increased compensation on the ballot. I hope they'll reconsider their initial decision and table that. And again, I want to reiterate that I'm prepared to join with them in an expedited charter review process that will include council role and responsibilities and compensation as a key part of that. Because in fact, we do want to make sure that we attract a broad range of people from throughout our community, people who can't afford to take time off from their jobs to do this work of City Council. And we want everybody to have a chance to be involved if they choose, younger people and people from all walks of life. But again, I think it's important to have a comprehensive discussion about that function. For example, a while back, City Council spent, I believe, quite a bit of time debating whether or not to allow a variance for a basketball goal in a neighborhood. And I know that subject is very important to the person who wanted the variance and very important to that neighborhood, but is that a subject really that should consume City Council time? Could we discuss possibly another arbiter making that decision with an appeal opportunity? I think it's essential that City Council and the mayor are able to get to a point where we are dealing with the big picture, the future of the city, and how we are going to generate and drive toward strategies to get us there. And one specific example is our comprehensive plan. City Council, as you know, is responsible for Colorado Springs Utilities, Memorial Health System, and land use. As part of land use, that's not just zoning and development plans, that's also our comprehensive plan. And we have not updated our comprehensive plan, I believe, in 12 or 13 years now. I think it's essential we do that, whether or not Banning Lewis Ranch develops. Certainly if Banning Lewis Ranch does not develop as real estate, where are those hundreds of thousands of people going to live? And how are we going to accommodate them in a way that works for them, but also for our existing community? And how about infilling? Can we finally truly commit to infilling that is thoughtful, that is compatible with existing neighborhoods, but that allows us to better utilize our existing resources, as opposed to continuing to having to extend utilities and add more fire stations and more police substations. So it's a big subject. Council is legally the responsible party. I'd love to work with them on that, and the community. So that's an example where I think we have to define the role of City Council.